Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn about the gaseous state of matter and related equations and some gas laws. I am trying to explain you all the theory parts in simple manner. So try to understand all the theory parts clearly. If you have any problem, you can comment and I will answer your question. So this gaseous state of matter means gases are differ from liquids and gases because of the special properties of gases. So I will explain about the physical properties of gases first. Physical properties of gases. There are few physical properties we need to know. First one, gases have no definite volume and they have no definite shape, and the compressibility of gases is very high. And the other one is gases have very low density compared to the liquids and solids. So you can compare these physical properties of gases with physical properties of liquids and solids. You can understand some differences between these physical states, and so we can discuss further about the physical properties of gases. These gases exerts a pressure in all the direction equally inside the container, and you can understand these gas particles can move freely. And the other one is if you try to mix different types of gases together, they will mix without any mechanical support. That means gas molecules, different gas molecules can mix well without any mechanical aid. So you can understand that there are so many, or there are very large spaces among gas particles, and the other special physical properties of gases are the intermolecular attractive forces between gas molecules is very low, and the other one is these gas particles have very minute particular size, and these are the main physical properties of gases which we need to know. Then next I will explain about the ideal gases. Ideal gases. We can define these ideal gases like this: the gases which have no intermolecular forces among gas particles, and the gases which have the negligible particle size. That means in the ideal gases, ideal gas molecules, they have no particle size, and they have no intermolecular attractive forces. That means attractive forces and repulsive forces are not present between gas molecules of these ideal gases, and these are the properties of gases and ideal gases. So we are discussing all the theory parts related to the ideal gases, and you may have a doubt how to apply gas laws to the oxygen gas, nitrogen gas, like real gases. So when we are applying an equation, we have to assume that these nitrogen or oxygen or carbon dioxide like real gases are behave like these ideal gases. So we can apply without any doubt. So I will next move to the ideal gas equation. Ideal gas equation. That is the PV equals nRT. This is the ideal gas equation, and I will explain what are the meaning of these symbols. P means pressure in Pascal, V means volume in cubic meter, N means number of moles in moles, R is the ideal gas constant or gas constant, T is the absolute temperature. Remember, this temperature is not Celsius, it should be in Kelvin temperature. And I will say something regarding this gas constant. There is a constant value for the gas constant, that is 8.314 joules per Kelvin per mole. This is the value for gas constant. And sometimes you can apply related values for this gas constant, like 25 divided by 3. This is nearly equal to the gas constant, and remember that this is not the real value. You have to remember this 8.314 joules per Kelvin per mole. And next one, this is the absolute temperature. If you are given Celsius temperature, you can convert this Celsius temperature into Kelvin temperature. Then I will tell you what is the formula to convert Celsius temperature into Kelvin. Kelvin equals 273 plus theta degrees Celsius. By using this formula, you can convert Celsius temperature into Kelvin. It's very simple. Don't forget to apply Kelvin temperature to the this ideal gas equation. So this is about the ideal gas equation, and next we can discuss about the different forms of this ideal gas equation. This ideal gas equation can be used to find different physical properties of gases, that means ideal gases. Let's see how this ideal gas equation is converted to that physical quantities. First, I will explain how to convert this ideal gas equation to an equation which contain a concentration symbol. Let's see how to do it. Think about the ideal gas equation. PV equals nRT. And there's a very popular formula called C equals N over V, concentration equal number of moles divided by volume. And this is studied in the chemical calculation part. So I'm going to convert this ideal gas equation like this. I'm going to move this V symbol to the other side of the equation. Then P equals N over V into RT. Then, now you can understand that this N over V, number of moles divided by volume means concentration. So you can replace this N over V part by C symbol, that means concentration symbol. Then you can write P equals CRT. So you can understand this ideal gas equation is very important, and if we want to calculate the concentration of a given gas sample, we can use this formula. And let's see another derivative formula of this ideal gas equation. And again there is a very simple formula in the chemical calculation part, that is number of moles equal mass divided by molar mass. So I'm going to apply this mass over molar mass part instead of number of moles. So I can write it PV equals M over M into RT. You can see what I have done here. Then you can subject capital M, take this capital M to the left side of the equation, then M equals, and at the same time I am going to move this PV part to the other side of the equation. Then capital M equals simple MRT divided by PV. This is a important formula in this lesson, and so you can use this formula to calculate the molar mass of a unknown gas. And let's see another form of derivative formula of this ideal gas equation. Again, PV equals nRT. I'm going to convert this N again to the mass over molar mass part. So you can generate again this PV equals M over MRT formula. Then I am going to convert this formula like this. You can move this volume symbol to the other side of the equation like this. P equals M over V RT divided by capital M. So this is the density part. You can remember density equals mass divided by volume. So instead of this mass divided by volume part, you can insert this density symbol D. Then this formula change into P equals dRT divided by M. So this formula can be used to find the density of a gas when all the other factors are given. So these are the derivative formulas of the ideal gas equation. Try to understand how to convert this ideal gas equation to the other equations. So I'm going to move to the next topic, that is Boyle's law. Boyle's law, and this Boyle's law describes that the pressure of a constant amount of gas at constant temperature is inversely proportional to the volume of the gas. And it says like this, pressure of a gas is inversely proportional to its volume, like this. But the amount of gas, that means number of moles of the gas, and its temperature should be at constant. Then we can change this formula like this: P equals K into 1 over V. Then I'm going to take this volume symbol to the left side of the equation. Then you can write PV equals K. This is the formula related to the Boyle's law. If this is a true formula, we have to be able to generate this formula by using ideal gas equation 2. Let's see how to do it. You know that PV equals nRT. So if the number of moles and temperature are at constant, R is a constant again, all of these number of moles and gas constant and temperature are constant, you can write it as a K constant. Then PV equals K. This is the Boyle's law formula. So this should be a true formula. Remember that this K is depend on absolute temperature of a given sample of gas when the number of moles of gas is constant. And next one, I will apply this Boyle's law to a gas and let's see how to do it. Think there is a gas in a container like this, and its number of moles is constant and its temperature also constant. And think initial pressure is P1 and initial volume is V1. And I am going to change pressure and volume of this gas sample into P2 and V2 like this. You can see its volume has changed, but the number of moles and temperature should not change. And think the new pressure is P2, new volume is V2. So I'm going to apply this Boyle's law to the first and second instances separately. Let's see. Then if you apply it here, it says P1 V1 equals K. Take this as first formula. And if you apply this Boyle's law to the second instance, then it says P2 V2 equals K. Take this as second formula. So you can see this first formula is equal to the second formula. So it says P1 V1 equals P2 V2. This is the formula which we can apply to the two instances of the same gas sample at same temperature. And next, let's discuss about the graph related to the Boyle's law. So I am going to convert this Boyle's law into a graph equation like this. You can understand this formula as a y x equal m form formula. So you can see, if I draw the graph pressure against the volume of the gas, it should be like this, and this is the gradient of the graph, and this gradient means K constant. And think this graph was drawn at 300 Kelvin. Let's see what will happen to the graph if the temperature is increased, and let's see what happens then. If you increase the temperature, you can see this total part get increased. So this total part indicates the K value constant. So if you increase the temperature, this K constant value get increased. Because of that, this gradient also get increased. Then the graph should be like this. Think this graph was drawn at 600 Kelvin. And there is another reason for the movement of this graph to the upside, that is the expansion of gas when the temperature is raised. Remember that also. And there is another graph also related to the Boyle's law. Let's see how to draw it. You can convert this Boyle's law equation like this. Then you can subject P, and I am going to move this volume symbol to the other side of the equation. Then P equals K into 1 over V. This is a formula related to the Y equals mx form. So you can understand that this graph should be like this. Then pressure against to the 1 over V. This graph should be like this. And think again, this graph was drawn at 300 Kelvin. What will happen to the graph if we increase the temperature? Let's see what happens. If you increase the temperature again, it will increase all of this part. That means value of K will increase, and then the gradient will increase. If you increase the temperature, the constant value get increased, and then gradient of the graph get increased. Then the graph should be like this. Suppose this graph was drawn at 600 Kelvin, and you can understand that this is a very important part of the physical chemistry. And let's see the other law. Our next topic is Charles' law. This Charles' law describes that the volume of a fixed amount of gas at a constant pressure is directly proportional to the absolute temperature. It says like this. Think volume is directly proportional to the absolute temperature, and the amount of moles or amount of gas and pressure of the gas should be at constant. They should not change when you find in the truth of Charles law. You can convert this formula like this: V equals KT. Then I am going to take this temperature symbol to the left side of the equation. Then we can write V over T equals K. This is the equation of the Charles law. And if this is a true formula, we should be able to prove this formula by using ideal gas equation also. Let's see how to do it. You know, PV equals RT, PV equals nRT. If the pressure, number of moles and R are constant, you can write this formula like this: V equals nR over P into T. So you can understand that number of moles is a constant and pressure also is a constant. R is a constant again, that's the gas constant. So all of this part is a constant then. So you can write this V equals KT. So this describes that the truthness of Charles law. We can get the same formula by using this ideal gas equation too. So let's see how to apply this Charles law to the two instances of a gas. Like this, think there is a gas in a container and its volume is V1 and its temperature is T1, and I'm not going to change the number of moles and pressure of this gas. That means number of moles and pressure of this gas are constant, and I'm going to change this volume and temperature like this. Think new volume is V2 and new temperature is T2, and I haven't changed the number of moles and pressure of this gas sample. So you can apply this Charles law to the first and second instance separately. So you can apply first here this formula, then V1 equals K T1, take this as first formula. Then here again V2 equals K T2, take this as second formula. I'm going to divide this first formula by second formula like this. Divide first formula by second formula, then you can get V1 divided by V2 equals KT1 divided by KT2. You can see that this K and K get cancelled. Finally we can see V1 over V2 equals T1 over T2. This is the formula which we can apply into the two instances of a gas at same pressure. So let's see the graph of this Charles law. Try to remember these things because these things are the very important part of the physical chemistry, and this is the foundation of your physical chemistry part. So I'm going to draw the graph related to the Charles law. This is the formula, and you can convert this formula like this. I mean into a graph formula. This is a form of y equals mx form. So this graph should be like this. Volume against the temperature in Kelvin. You can see that this graph moves like this, and this should be the 0 Kelvin temperature. Remember that. And let's see what happens to the graph when the pressure is changed. So think this graph was drawn at 1 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal pressure. If you increase the pressure when drawing this graph, this part will get increased. That means pressure get increased. So this denominator get increased. Because of that, this part, total part, get decreased. So K, that means constant K, get decreased. Because of that, the gradient of the graph should get decreased. So we can draw the graph like this. That means reduced gradient, and here we have increased the pressure up. Think this pressure was 10 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal pressure. So I will show you some special points of this graph. You know, 0 Celsius is equal to the minus 273.15 degrees Celsius. And if we consider about the 273.15 Kelvin value, think the value is here, and this temperature indicates the 0 degrees Celsius. And if I draw a vertical line like this, you can see there should be a zero volume of the gas when the temperature decrease up to the 0 Kelvin level, not in 0 Celsius level. At the 0 Celsius temperature, it has a Kelvin temperature. Because of that, it should have a volume. Try to understand this. The volume of the gas becomes 0 at 0 Kelvin, not at 0 Celsius temperature. And okay, these are the main theory parts related to the gas lesson. And let's see next part of this lesson from another video. So I think you have learned something from this video, and you can subscribe our channel and share these videos among your friends, because these lessons are very important for you, and you also. So if you have any doubt, you can comment and ask questions. So bye.